Hey guys, what's up? It's Chris. I am back today playing some Pioneer. Believe it or not, this is the second time I've recorded this video. I recorded it about 6 days ago with this exact deck. I haven't changed a single card. I have not had enough time to look at Pioneer to know if this deck is, tuned or not, but it felt fine last Thursday. I played a league. I went 4-1. I beat red, two different flavors of red twice, lost to Jeskai Sahili, beat in Soul Artifact, and beat, my mind's gone blank, White Weenie. Yeah, that was the 5 rounds I faced, and the deck went 4-1. Deck felt good. Certainly felt good enough that I didn't want to change anything before playing this league. So yeah, the deck is in front of me. It's a black-green mid-range list, so the biggest call I've made is I've decided to start without Deathrite Shaman. Obviously the card is busted with fetch lands, but we only have 4. I guess you could count the fields as half a fetch each, so that's like 5 fetches. Didn't feel like enough. You don't have much self-mill, you've just got the Flayers and the Liliana Last Hope, so I figured that Deathrite Shamans wouldn't be that good at ramping. They would be still quite handy as a versatile tool for shrinking your opponent's graveyards and stuff, but if your opponent's not filling their graveyard, then you're reducing your own, and that's going to make your Grim Flayers a lot worse, potentially your Scavenging Users as well. So that was the kind of tension point. The other slight change is that the reason my video I uploaded last week got taken down was that it had a copyrighted song playing in the background. So I'm now wearing headphones, which means I can still keep my background music, but it means I look a bit silly. And yeah, that's kind of where we are. So I'm going to jump in, play a league. I've only, like I said, I've played a total of 5 matches of Pioneer in my life, so you'll have to forgive me if I'm not as up to speed with what's going on as I am in Modern or other formats. Like, I won't be able to identify the rest of a deck from a turn 1 like I usually can. But yeah, the early impressions I have of Pioneer are that it's ultra fun, a really fair format from what I can see. There's not too much combo, and the combo that there is isn't overpowered, and that all appeals to me. The two sort of strategies that I've been most behind are black-green base mid-range, so this and Sultai. They both appeal to me, and then I also have an interest in prowess-based decks. I've seen some really cool straight red and blue-red, and occasionally like green-red, sort of splashing green for Ataka's command, all of which appeal to me. Solid hand, if unexciting. Keep it. Get the Quagmire out of the way. I'm not very good at pressuring Planeswalkers, that's the only thing I don't like about this hand. So if our opponent's playing like blue-white control or something, we're going to be stuffed. I wonder what Rookie Stewed is thinking. Okay. Go. So we've obviously given away pretty much our entire deck, because you would not play Hissing Quagmire if you weren't a black-green mid-range deck. Oh, Mirror? Thoughtseize? Deathrite, okay. going to get this down. I wonder if we're playing an actual mirror or if we're playing against, like, Sultai. Looks like an actual mirror. Alright, that looks fairly terrible. So the good news is that can't block, so they would have to chub block with Deathrite, and even then I'd get one trample in, so... Graveyard. Oh, yeah, we need to be a bit mindful of the... Oh dear, I just put that in the graveyard by mistake. We need to be a bit mindful of the Deathrite Shaman being able to go after our stuff. I guess they eat the Assassin's Trophy and they eat one land, sure. Maybe they have a Fatal Push in their hand or something. Be interesting to see. I don't think I'm too bothered about this Despoiler of Souls nonsense. Yeah, 3-1 that can't block. We should be able to beat that just on straight up with what we've got. Okay, so there's some kind of black-green graveyard mid-range strategy. So it's not quite a mirror, and that should mean our Scavenging Ooze is very good. So we're not blocking because in the future we'll be able to, like, effectively race them by growing oozes. Ah, they didn't like it. Fair enough, it doesn't seem great for them. Bit of an early concession. We've got 4 ley lines. I'm going to bring them in. I don't think I'm going to bring anything else in. There's an argument for Noxious Grasp, I guess, but I can't imagine that 4 ley lines isn't going to do it. Kalitas seems very good. What don't I see the point in? Okay, let's try that. One cool thing about this format is I'm seeing loads of cards I haven't seen for ages. Like that 3-1 from the previous game. Didn't know that existed. Thoughtseize into Flayer is a strong opener. And Kalitas is good in the matchup. I think I'll keep. Obviously, with 4 ley lines in your deck, there's a strong argument to mull for a ley line, but I think because we're not playing against like Arclight Phoenix or whatever, maybe there's a bit less pressure to find one. Okay, they don't have a 1-drop, which is good. Let's see if we can take their 2-drop. Ooze is a hell of a draw. What you got, opponent? So they're like a weird version of Dredge. What's this split card? Don't understand why opponents kept their hand. This seems terrible. There's some sort of Dredge-like situation. Ooh, There it is. So I'm going to make the Flayer first, because they've got nothing worth eating with an ooze right now. And then if they put something in their graveyard this coming turn, I can potentially eat it the coming turn. Grimflayer is also slightly better at managing our draw step. It's a great draw as well, because we've got access to 4 mana for Leyline for next turn, and then it should be pretty much GG. That one can go away. Don't think I'm worried about any of those. They can all go away. Hopefully, from their point of view, seeing me mill the Leyline is nice and scary, because it's clearly good against them. Yep. Apparently very scary, which is appropriate the day before Halloween. Apologies for the slow rate of uploads. Obviously, it would have been helped had my other one not got taken down, but even so, I haven't been as on it lately. I've been super busy with other parts of my life, with work, with friends, we've had a family bereavement, and we've lost a family pet as well, so there's been a bit of mildly dramatic time in the Chris household. But oh, what's going on here? There's our game. Yeah, now I should have a bit more time for Magic, and obviously Magic is good. It's relaxing. It makes me feel good. This is a mulligan. This is a keep. To put it simply, I think I'm going to get rid of Questing Beast and hope that Corsa plus Tracker. I mean, that combo should be dirty if they both survive. Just clues and lives and clues and lives. Opponent is tanking or just being slow. I'm not sure. Yeah, they've not mulled or anything. They're just thinking. Go ahead, opponent. Let's see what we're up against. Azorius Guildgate. If this is some kind of scapeshift nonsense, I'm not happy. Oh, punished. Let's see what's up. This is some sort of scapeshift nonsense. Their man is really bad though, which is comforting. Although I do suspect this is the type of matchup we just can't beat. I've got an Assassin's Trophy for the first field. I wonder if they're playing a basic land. I assume they are. Oh, that's a good draw. This is unfortunately not a very fast clock. Mm. So we still know their whole hand. Ooh. I don't want to draw that. Or do I? Then I can attack through the grazer with both. Yeah, I think it's a fine draw. You'll go. Trying to figure out how to beat this. I guess no, not Damping Sphere. Some way of stripping fields like Unmoored Ego. Which we don't have access to. Hour of Promise. So they don't control any deserts, and they will not have 7 different land types yet, but I'm fairly sure we're just dead. I think the best I can do here is to plus Lily on the Grazer post-combat and to trophy the field. Which isn't great. That is a fairly heinous draw step as well. We're pretty much set for lands and clues for now. We want a bit more pressure. Please don't hit Field of the Dead. Ugh. Okay, that's not so bad. Maze's End, that's a fun win condition. Well, the good news is they appear to be drawing kind of ineffective stuff, which is giving us a hope. This is going to be a big attack. This is looking a lot more promising. This is proper pressure now. We're doing all right. They've got a turn to find something. It's a blocker. Keeps them alive. They have to block the tracker because I've got clues. So we get in for 6. How many different gates names? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, nowhere near. Which is good. So I guess we're just looking for a removal for the grazer. And we're looking for... what else? Yeah, we're looking for a removal for the grazer, or we're looking for a questing beast. That would win. Opponent's struggling to make some decisions. Removal. Nice. Opponent, this is lethal. You should concede. Woohoo! Begin sideboarding. Well, that went better than anticipated, didn't it? Bloody hell. None of my sideboard looks appealing. I suppose Spyglass is probably better than... and maybe Brutality, because they've got a lot of sorceries we can take. Let's go with that. Very slightly better, I should think. But we're basically in the same boat as game 1, where we're kind of cold to them comboing off unless Trophy breaks it up. Looks like a lovely hand. Can't argue with this. Okay. I'm coming for your hand, opponent. Show me what you've got. That seems awful. What is this hand they've kept? Yep, go. Ooh. The temptation to trophy that is strong, but we've got time. I'm going to develop a clock first. I imagine next turn I will be spyglassing on like Maze's End or something. I don't really know. If obviously I'd rather just draw another creature. That would be a much better option for me. Well, them having a second field is ominous. Good draw. See how much delirium we can give ourselves. Definitely that. Yeah, if I mill both... yeah, that's fine. And we play the Fabled Passage and the Ooze. This seems great. Got them on a 3-turn clock. Possibly better. We know most of their hand is garbage. I guess we get a forest because we've got a Scavenging Ooze. pretty good. It's unlikely to matter, but it might come up that we want to use ooze or push. So I decided to shock, because they're not really dealing small increments of damage, are they? They're either dealing a disgusting amount. Fine. What is that? Nonsense. I don't think that gaining a little bit of life is good in this matchup. Yeah, I'm going to Spyglass the Maze's End next turn. Maybe think about whether or not to trophy some fields. Reply to that later. Try and find a land. That's all we're doing here. We did not. Maze's End. Ooh, field written. Bin, okay. And next turn I get to blow up 2 Field of the Deads, which shouldn't have been enabled. I don't think there's a way they can enable them this turn. Or maybe if they... yeah. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they make 4 zombies, which isn't bad. That is not bad. Are they going to make more zombies now? I think they're going to make 1 more, right? Which is disappointing. I don't know if I missequenced that. I think I just need to keep up the pressure. What do I want to save? I'll save the Flayer. So my plan next turn is just to keep deploying threats. Play Scavenging Ooze, play Murderous Rider as a 2/3, and just see what they've got. Please no Field of the Dead. Okay, we can handle that. It's not so scary. Right. I'm going to attack. Best thing I could put on the top would probably just be a questing beast as a bit of reach. Okay. Ooh. So I'm just making mopey creatures because, you know, we have 6 points of damage left to deal. And that's kind of the whole game. I feel as though them gaining some life at this point would actually be quite critical, because even if they make infinite zombies, if we get in a hit with, or they wrath me, for example, because they've got Fey of Wishes, they might find a wrath and use it. Okay, well, cards shouldn't matter. You can draw as many cards as you want. You'll be dead. Dead people can't cast spells. Good. Zombies. Okay, well, I'm going to slam it and hope to win. Hopefully this is good enough. I just realised they might have another riot control, potentially. It kind of feels like what's going on. Okay. I don't understand why I won. Does Questing Beast have a can't deal damage clause? Can't be prevented. Woohoo! God, I don't know what my cards do, but they're really good, so that's helpful. That was very funny. I didn't expect to win then. Wasn't that fun? Well, the black-green deck does seem really strong. So I've played 7 games now and I'm 6-1 with it. Apologies for not knowing all the text on Questing Beast, but in my defence, it is longer than War and Peace. Not as in Sword of, as in the book. You know, the famously long one. Am I on the draw? I'll keep this on the draw. We're a green source away from glory. Play a small creature, opponent. Rats. They didn't obey. Well, that's a green source. If opponent goes 2-drop and we go Flayer into 3-drop, or push it into Flayer into 3-drop, then our life is pretty good. Just make a 2-drop. Any 2-drop. That's not hexproof. Fine. Graveyard shenanigans again. Not aristocrat stuff. Doesn't seem right to me that Satyr Wayfinder would be a 1/1. He's pretty hench. This mana base is beautiful. You hardly take any pain from it, and it's super consistent. Yeah. Yep, that thing. Oh, I can give myself delirium. So I missed. That seems pretty good, because I can play Tracker, make 2 clues, and have access to push next turn. If I so wish. That can't be bad. Yep, that's fine. Kill that thing. Might have been better to activate Fabled Passage before combat, to be fair. What's going on? That seems like a bad block. I'm suspicious. I'm also a person with 4 ley lines, though, which have been great this league. I didn't bring them in once the first league I played. Can't imagine it's very easy for them to do their stuff through 4 ley lines. I think opponents just realised how bad that block was. So I'm going to put those in the graveyard. I'm going to leave her on top, but I don't care about making her go away if I have to. You know, if they try to kill my tracker, I'm going to do my best to make the clue. I think a whole card is worth more than a better than average draw step. What are we playing against? Okay. Doesn't come as a massive surprise. Okay. Okay, let's go for it. So my intention is, if they use the Cartel Aristocrat's ability, I would like to Assassin's Trophy the Aristocrat in response, and I assume that's what they're about to do. Nothing else makes sense. I don't know what's going on. Opponent's being a little bit slow. Okay. So that all just goes through because they didn't make a move and I didn't feel I had to either. Top. Get that other flare. Go. Hopefully 8 power with trample is enough to get me there. We will have to see. I've also got a lot of removal between these two, the Murderous Rider. Fine. I say fine, I haven't done any maths, I assume I'm in trouble. It's a lot of triggers. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. I lose. You know that thing about 8 power with trample being good enough? I don't think it is. Like, I don't care about taking 8, but I do need to shove some damage through. And this is going to make it harder for sure. I'm wondering if it's even possible. They've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 toughness. Start by killing that. The graveyard is stocked up as well. Their deck looks sweet. Ooh! That was probably the move, was to try and kill them with their own Midnight Reaper. Maybe I've mucked that up. They seem to be doing it for me, although I'm sure they know what they're doing. Right, they've drawn 5 cards, which is not trivial. I'm just going to sack a clue. Try and find a land. It's not a land. I'm going to pass a turn. Obviously there's no good attacks when all this stuff has protection. Yeah, opponent's deck is sweet. I approve. I also don't think I have anything of any value except for the what's it called? The ley lines. That doesn't matter. What else have you got? That also shouldn't matter. Okay. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. So if that was the best they could muster, I'm guessing their hand isn't too strong. We're going to be forcing some trump blocks by attacking, or maybe they'll group block and make a trade. And we've got a solid hand still. So I'm assuming I don't lose any life. Can set up my draw steps. I guess Questing Beast is the best top deck for reach related purposes. Collective Brutality is also reach, I guess. I'm going to hide Kalitas. Don't want to show them I've got it. So if I go top, top, that seems pretty great. I just don't want them to make any kind of modest life gain now. Me losing life doesn't bother me. Yeah, good. Odd time to concede, but very happy. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Don't think I want anything else. I suppose Spyglass is pretty good naming Aristocrat. Still struggling to understand what happened in that first match. I can't even remember what we played against. We've played against very premature concessions.deck. How odd. Obviously this curve looks dreadful, but if a ley line's in our opener, we're super happy, and if it isn't, we might just be mulliganing. Oh, I remember round 1. It was that weird dredge thing, wasn't it? And then round 2 was the Field of the Dead deck. Come on, opponent. Let's play. Let's play. I need to kill you. Winning game 1 against combo is usually pretty good as the fair deck, because once you get your hate, it gets 10 times easier. Hopefully I'm not going to need to have their graveyard popped up this game, because it's going to be all exiled, because I'm going to have a ley line in my opener. Or at least a boy can dream, can't he? Leyline of the Void is a ridiculous magic card. Well, all of the actually good ley lines are ridiculous. Being able to cast them for free doesn't seem right. Being one-sided also doesn't seem right. Ugh. Sorry about that. That's a bit of a stiff neck. This seems below par for a 7 on the draw. It's got a clock and an ooze. This is worse. This is a lot worse. Maybe I should have kept that 7. Kind of have to keep this. Get rid of Field Trophy. Not good. Not good. Yeah. The hand I ended up keeping is always exactly the same as the 7, but worse because it's got 2 less cards. How sad. No, they've got a good start. Can't beat good starts. It's quite insane being able to play with Deathrite Shaman and Treasure Cruise and Dig Through Time and all these cards that we've been told are much too good for Legacy. Well, they are much too good for Legacy. Pretty fun. Just what we needed. You go, opponent. Now we hope and pray that the Scavenging Ooze lives long enough to dominate the game, because I'm sure it could in this matchup. And I've yet to see anything like Abrupt Decays or Assassin's Trophies from their deck. Oh shit, I should have done that in their end step. That was a huge mistake. That was a huge mistake. And keep one activation up just in case it matters. I was just thinking back to how I won that game earlier against Scapeshift, where I didn't realise this clause on Questing Beast. Not that one. Combat damage dealt by your creatures can't be prevented. And this card has too many words on it, man. It's like it's so pushed and silly. I don't know what they were thinking. Okay. You do your thing, opponent. I'm not attacking. I'll make this block if they attack. That can only be good for me. They agree and they decline. Well, I'm going to cast it, and then I'm going to start playing Questing Beasts every turn until they die. I appreciate that these are legendary, so I can't play the second one until the first one has died, but what's all this company? Okay. Oh yeah, they don't reveal them all, they just come into play. Well, that is a reasonable amount of just actual, honest power and toughness. They do only have one card left in hand. I hope it's not very good. My life total is slipping as well with the 2 Corpse Knights. Need to get them gone. Let's see whether they attack. I need to also note that there's an instant or sorcery in the graveyard now, so that's 2 points from a Deathrite Shaman. So my life total is slipping. I need to somehow put creatures in my own yard to use with the ooze. To gain some life, maybe. We'll see. If I get to make a trade like that, I'd be super happy. Looks to be the case. I'll just trade off both, I think. I was thinking about keeping the Oozle around to gain some life, but yeah, I need to just kill both Corpse Knights. I can't really risk my life total going too much lower either. I'm happy enough, I think, to make this trade. It's a really good draw. It's a fantastic draw. They should activate their Shaman now. Probably both of them. But they've got to decide between hitting me for 2 versus... Yeah, no, we're going to have to wait. The problem is they've got so much mana. Let's see if they go for anything now. They are. Eat in response. Okay. Okay, good. That went okay. I wonder if they've not done like Scavenging Ooze mirrors before, but you don't want to be the first to make a move. Haruspex, I would assume. No attack. This forces them to tap the other one and use their last bit of mana. Which they probably should do, I should add. Although I like the idea of there being nothing in any graveyards, so that's good. Neuters their Deathrite Shamans a lot. Makes the race a lot fairer. They're going to eat my Flayer? I would eat my Flayer. And they gain 2, and that's fine. I'm going to just attack with the Questing Beast. They probably just take 4. Assume they're not double blocking. Oh, they can't actually. And single blocking seems dreadful. But basically I've kind of got the ground locked up a bit. They've not really got good attacks right now. Yeah. And then next turn I can like push either the Haruspex or the Deathrite Shamans. Probably the Haruspex. Don't really want them drawing lots of cards. Oh, hell. Does this thing have haste? It does. And indestructible. Don't see a way around this. Yeah, that's dead. I'm dead. Well, I didn't expect that. So be it. We mulled to 5 and almost got there, so feeling good about game 3. I am, however, just going to grab more water. Okay, I would love to play first. Can I get a ley line? Well, I got what I asked for. This is a perfectly reasonable hand, considering it's got an ooze in it. Sorry, I was not paying attention. Okay. Given how little interaction we've seen from them, this should be really good. Getting it down on turn 2 with a handful of green sources and some other threats and pressure seems like a recipe that I can get behind. What have you got, opponent? Nothing worth eating, really. So they took a Temple Garden. Okay. Weird sequencing from opponent. Wouldn't it have been better to get the Temple Garden out tapped at that point? Maybe they're changing their mind? No. Okay. Not really willing to attack with anything just yet. This makes sense now regarding the way they've used their lands. Okay. Not great. This Grim Haruspex, that'll be. push. Not too bad. I'm just going to pass the turn now. I'm just trying to figure out how to navigate this. It's a bit of a minefield. Opponent does have 4 minutes on the clock, I've just noticed, which can't be bad for me. Cool. Okay. I'm enjoying that Vraska's getting some shine now in both this format and a bit in Standard as well. I've seen it getting picked up in Standard as an answer to Oko, which I think is cool. I guess I attack with this. They do probably have Collected Company. It seems like a fairly safe attack. That's a nice little interaction. Growing the tracker. Didn't know that. Going to give myself 1 ooze activation and leave the... go and get the flare out as well. I was thinking about leaving 3 mana up, but I don't think I want to. Here comes company. Seems as good a time as any. Okay, go for it, opponent. What did you hit? I don't know what would be scary here. I mean, Corpse Knights are good. Harrispexes are good. Don't mind them milling over a company. What's this? Dusk Dawn, that's a nice one. Very good in their deck. Very good in their deck. Okay. Pretty good. So they're going big time at Vraska. Vraska. So I guess I resign myself to losing here and make the most profitable blocks I can. She's done pretty well anyway. I think we're going to most likely just win by opponent timing out, as boring as that is. Or not. I need a way to kill that. That'll do it. Nice. Thought they'd F6'd. Kind of exploited that then. But so be it. That's an attack for lethal. So they have to chump block the tracker. Still take 8. I think we've got this. Stuff would have to go horribly wrong. Go ahead. Can't see how they win. Company, sure. Good. So they died. Woo! 3-0. So, yeah. Deck is strong. Green-black without Death Rights should be an archetype, I reckon. Based on my... I've played 8 games now and won 7. And you know I'm not very good. So it's not me, is it? It's the deck. So, yeah. It's pretty strong. I mean, it should be. It's not that far off a modern deck. What are we missing from modern apart from Liliana of the Veil? Tarmogoyf. That's a pretty good magic card, isn't it? Bob, if you're into him. Everyone's gone off Bob lately. What did Bob ever do to you? Apart from kill you in your upkeep. Apart from that, what did Bob ever do to you? Oh, I've died to Bob plenty of times. Oh. Come on, give me an opponent. It's early days, isn't it? But Pioneer appears to be everything I look for in a format. It's got like a deep card pool, but nothing too busted. Well, I suppose there's a lot of delve, so there's some fairly busted stuff. But I've enjoyed all the games I've played. Yay. Pete Leak. His hand is solid. Come on then, Pete. Pete Leak would be a really good name for a plumber. Or like... Yeah, that would be a good name for a plumber. Who you call when you've got a leak? You call Pete. Pete will know what to do. I was quite close to being a plumber, insofar as I left the job I was doing, did a couple of days with some friends who were plumbers, and then ended up, that didn't really work out, and I ended up setting up my own business, which was scary, but for the best, and now I'm self-employed, and that's pretty good, because it means I've got time for magic. Ooh, hexproof indeed. So they're doing bigger things than me, I think. It's probably safe to say. Go. What were we expecting? Pelucrinus World Eater or Calitas or something? I once heard someone refer to Pelucrinus World Eater as Polyamorous Wang Eater, which I thought was very funny. That went badly for me. We just scoop. Are we at that point? Let's see what's up first. Make a decision. We're like a black-green control deck, it seems. The good news is their hand's garbage. The bad news is that Cry of the Carnarium really got me. I even thought about waiting on the tracker, just playing a tap land, because I didn't want to get no value off of it, but I was like, nah, they'll play a 4-drop. They're bound to play a 4-drop. Why wouldn't they play a 4-drop? So their hand is Field of Ruin and one other. So the short answer is nobody's got anything. I'm going to hit that now, so they can't blow up my Quagmire, which is like the literal only thing I've got going on. Go. Although they do have another one in hand, which will probably hit my Quagmire. I'm going to hope this is sufficiently threatening that they might let it through, because they might think I've got a way to give it Delirium at instant speed. They do not. They make a block. Very smart, you swine. I'm going to keep the last land for tracker-related purposes. I'm going to hit my Quagmire, all makes sense. We've got one basic left, so we do not want to draw any Fabled Passages. Genuinely confused about opponent's strategy. All we've seen so far is ramp and sweepers. I'm going to keep the trophy for when they actually draw their payoff. I'm trying to think what it would be. It's a bad draw. Here it is. Oh no, it's not so bad. Get it dead. Get her dead before she can flip. Don't want them to activate her. I bet they're playing Big Emrakul. I think that, yeah, they're probably playing Big Emrakul. What else would be good in that deck? Yeah, Pelucranos would be good in that deck. Nissa 5. That'll do it. Not beating that with a Fabled Passage. I still think we should be fine here. Play a couple Elder Spells. Abrupt Decay looks real bad. Push looks pretty bad. I don't know if we want Veil. I've not seen anything. What's the word? Targeting. I've just seen sweepers. I'll play Sorceress Spyglass, I think. We'll try that. That game could have gone so differently if I didn't overcommit, because there was that period of about six turns each where neither of us did anything. And if I've got a 4-3 tireless tracker, well, starting and then snowballing, I think I kind of blew that. Although, I don't think it was wrong to not consider Cry of the Carnarium, because that is an unexpected card. I just think it was bad to play the tracker without getting anything from it. Let's see what's up. That's dodgy. The annoying thing is I don't currently have a creature to punish them for keeping a shit hand. Good draw. Must be nice. Nice. This hits pretty hard. It should close the game out if they keep stumbling. Be interesting to see if they just trophy it. Looks like it. Miss, 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 miss. Scumbags. I'm sure they're not a scumbag. I'm sure they're perfectly nice, but it's still irritating. Probably shouldn't have done that. Probably should have kept trophy up. Doubt it will matter. They've drawn out of their problems really well. Be interesting to see how they sequence this. They could go something like field the Quagmire into cast Nissa, but then they don't have Veil up. They just cast the Nissa. They wanted to leave Veil up, fair enough. No, they'll Veil it, and then they get a 2-for-1, and I'm sad. I missequenced this. I mistapped, rather. Because I have no more basic forests in my deck, and I would like to eat that Nissa, so that was loose. So the way I did that was I was playing around Veil, but they still have 2. I should not have got rid of 1 then. Yeah, that was the reason for that timing. So here comes the forest, presumably. Odd. Unless they need all the black. Okay. They've got mana to activate on my Quagmire. This is a good one. Okay. This Thoughtseize kind of stinks. And we can't really beat a 2-3 with lifelink. Yep. Questing Beast off the top. I won't fetch because I want to activate Tracker. Pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can't do both. Just do this. Well, that's pretty distracting, having the Vraska there, drawing their attacks for a minute, but the life gain will be annoying. Ah, they just cycled 1, fair enough. Because I did cast a black spell. Okay. Nothing too scary there. She goes to 3. Not the end of the world. Let's get a basic swamp. Cast Lily. They probably just use Veil of Summer here. Questing Beast, not too bad, not too bad. Things have taken a turn for the better for Team Us. If they don't top deck well from here, they're just done in. We're looking real good. That's not very good. Also not very good. They have no good attacks. We can clean up. I've got trophy for whatever they present as a threat. I assume they're about to concede the game. That is good, but I don't think it's going to be good enough from here. So I'm going to trophy in response so they don't get to draw cards. Then everybody sacks their stuff. Handy. Hit them with that. Finish them off with the brutality. And they can't even kill it because their fields have been shut down. Haha. Cool. Next game. Did I want to do anything different? Nah. Deck's perfect. Oh. So that was 1-1. So this is for some amount of marbles. Hand is nice. Play something that can get pushed. That's fine. What are you going to take? I guess a tracker, probably. It's the best card. Course is pretty strong too. Or they might take push if they have like a Llanowar Elves or something to play. Nah, 1 tracker, that makes sense to me. You okay? What do you got? Oops, should not have yielded. Okay, I guess I take the other one. That would make sense to me. Cool. Good to know there's a spell coming. Yep, doesn't matter. I don't think I want another ooze. Let's see what they've got. Knowing that they've got the potential for Veil of Summers makes me a little bit uneasy. I think I accept that. It's not so bad. Because it let me shuffle the ooze away whilst keeping my Revolt available. Oops. Nearly took... Eating the tracker would mess up my delirium maths if I draw a Flayer, so I don't... Not the tracker, sorry, the Courser, so I don't want to eat that. Let's hit them in the head. They have no choice but to take it. I just pass. Them being mana screwed is pretty good. I'm up for this. This is a play sequence I can get behind. Fine, weird timing, but whatever. This ain't bad. Questing Beast has been so good in this deck. I've been trying it in the sideboard of Modern Jund because my local meta is filled with blue-white control players, and it's super good against Jace and Teferi. And yeah, card's just insane. It's just good in every format. Plus it's got 3 heads, which is like Hagrid's dog. We like Hagrid, we like Hagrid's dog. I assume this is cast my Murderous Rider. Yeah, that ain't gonna do it. I'm afraid, friend. That also doesn't block Questing Beast anyways. I'm going to let them veil this. Probably shouldn't... Yeah, fine, predictable. Because at least now my Murderous Rider will resolve, which means it gets to successfully go for an adventure. So I'll cast this. I'll play this, and I will attack. We're actually good even against Liliana Dreadhorde General, aren't we? Which appears to be what they're casting. Because we've got a Hissing Quagmire that they've forgotten about. Quite like this. You're going to concede, opponent. You are! 4-0, 4-0. That's the song for being 4-0. I don't think it's going to get me too much chart success. But we're currently on our way to a trophy, maybe? Let's not get carried away, Chris. Plenty of time to fuck this one up yet, but yeah, deck feels good. Don't really understand that last opponent's deck. It was like a shitty black-green control deck with without enough top end. In 3 games, we didn't see a big Emrakul, so, not a big Emrakul, 13 mana Promised End. So maybe they're not playing that, and if they're not, why not? I don't understand. Why wouldn't you play that? Okay, let's go. Deck is fabulous sometimes, isn't it? Some of these openers look really good when you've got a mix of interaction and stuff. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, threats, interaction, perfect mana base. It can certainly look really good sometimes. Please don't get shocked. Pretty please. Please BKM. You lovely person, thank you. I might not be calling them lovely, it depends on what they're on. Is it charm? It's rude, isn't it? Thought sees them. Sup. Ooh. This is the Phoenix deck. So that's their hand. Now, obviously, Is It Charm is card disadvantage, as is Lightning Axe, so my hope is that they're just going to ruin their own lives for me. Took a bit of a risk there, because if they go for a big Phoenix turn now, I'm going to feel foolish. But I didn't want them to be able to kill it with an Is It Charm if they draw it now. And I think if they had the wherewithal to go for a Phoenix turn, they wouldn't have cast Op then, would they? They'd have cast it on their turn, so as to hit the prerequisite number of spells. Cruise, that's pretty good. On a believe they've still got one lightning axe. Obviously my hand is garbage at this point as well. I really do need a bit of help. Yeah, Cruise is a reason to just, like, eat everything from their graveyard at all times, isn't it? Just constantly munch, munch, munch. If you don't have a graveyard, you can't delve. Right, let's see how much work this Scavenging Ooze can do. Because it's got its work cut out. Yeah, I guess they can go through their turn. I don't need to. Discarding a Treasure Cruise, probably only because I've got the Ooze, probably not because I've got another one in hand. That would be my guess. Maybe they don't have the Lightning Axe. I feel like they would have used it if they could. Yep, this isn't looking great, is it? We need some help. We need a creature, a planeswalker. That ain't it. The good news is they're not pressuring me, and like a questing beast off the top is still a serious clock. Ooh. Are they going for something big? Okay. Fucking hell. This doesn't feel very good. When you've got nothing going on and your opponent's got infinite treasure cruises. Planeswalkers are good. What happened? I think I accidentally yielded. I'm very sad about that. Let's hope I don't get punished. Okay. This Abrupt Decay is looking bad. Pretty good draw. Not sure what sort of state we're in actually. Let's hope it's hard for them to get that Phoenix back, because I think I'd killed it at the wrong time then. I think I was certainly supposed to hold the Fabled Passage and do it on their turn. That was a real bad play. But these two draw steps have been kind after all the previous bullshit. I would like a Scavenging Ooze, please. What you doing, BKM? Okay. Don't mind that. probably should have waited, because it may be that their strategic planning decisions will be affected based on whether or not they think they've got a thing in the ice. So maybe I blew that then. Okay, and here comes the Phoenix to finish off Vraska. That must have gone. We're still in this just because of the power of questing beast, I guess. That's the third one that they've resolved. The fourth one that they've seen this game. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter. I'm far too, you know, mature, magnanimous for that sort of thing. What is this? Sorry, damn. Let's have another questing beast off the top, or a scavenging ooze. Yeah, that'll do it. 5 cards versus nothing going on. Right. Take some ley lines, please. Hexproof from blue and black specifically, so we can't use it to stop a red removal. Okay, so for Thing in the Ices, I'm going to leave in, say, 2 pushes and 2 decays. Take out a trophy as well. These, and go with this. I would love to play first. We can do a bit better than that. This is a banger. That should shut them up. Can't imagine they can do too much with that in play. I suppose they've got Thing in the Ices, but we've got a decay for the first one. Do I run the Flayer out knowing that it might get wild slashed? I probably still do. Go. I'm hoping that they're representing an opt rather than a wild slash. Pretty good. Was just about to say I'm desperate for lands. I think they might be desperate for lands too. Where's their exile zone? There it is. Okay. Take 3. Doesn't seem to matter. Land. Ooh. Can't argue with that. Let's get a green one. And let's kill our opponent. Obviously, we know they've got Lightning Axe in their deck, which is a pretty good answer, but it is still a 2-for-1. And we've already hit them for 4. Just pass back. You know you want to just pass back. Don't worry about it. Spell. Who cares? We don't need spells. We have a 4-4. Turns out 4-4s are good against life points. No, they've got the Lightning Axe. I'm going to field them because I want to thin my deck. I'm doing it in the upkeep because I don't want them to have access to all their mana on their main phase. It's interesting they went for a mountain. I would have thought they'd be more blue based. That thing's dead. Can I get a spell, please? That's a good one. Because I've got 2 of my own creatures to eat. So it can survive most of their removal. It's important when you're playing against 3 damage red removal to have an additional green up so that you can respond to them casting like a Fiery Temper or something. That shouldn't make any difference. It's just a bad draw, to be honest, but yeah, I don't see any benefit to running it out. Okay. Let's see which way they go. Unfortunately, they went the right way. Okay. Now we need some help. I guess I just run this out. In case they can destroy one, although I don't think they can, but they can probably bounce one. I assume their hand is just phoenixes, and they're about to start casting them and killing me. Chandra, yeah, that shouldn't matter. Okay. Doesn't appear to be going very well. Yeah, I don't think. Aside from our opener, which was lovely, I don't think our draw steps have been up to, like, they have been below average this game, which is probably costing us. I don't know. We're still kind of close to turning it around. Questing Beast. Pretty good. That's a good top deck if we're all short of stuff. I'm just going to hold that. Pretend I've got removal. It'll be good also if I get a tracker or a courser. Yep, that's pretty good. Oh, come on. Spell. This isn't the end of the world because when they wild slash this, push is turned on. And if they don't wild slash it, we get in for a full 2 points, which is rather luxurious. Would you look at that, they've got it. So I'm going to take 3. My Quagmire is going to take 5. So it's extraordinarily dead. That's going to get exiled at least, which is of some interest to me. And I'm going to play that out, even though I said I wouldn't earlier. Spell. That's a spell. I'm going to plus on one of my own ley lines, I think. Oh, damn it. Go. Damn it, Fresca. You knob. Why did you draw me that shitty forest? Kalitas is nice. Not gonna lie. That should be quite hard for them to kill. They've used a couple of lightning axes already. They've used 3. They've got 1 more in their deck. And Kalitas is kind of an extra ley line as well. Ah. I should have floated a mana first. Full payment lightning axe, okay. Let's have this. Probably should have done this before I played the Flayer. As they got like a wild slash as well to finish it off. They literally have. Okay, well, at least they are out of cards. Yeah, we should still be fine from here. I liked it better when we had threats. Ah, Treasure Cruise. It's funny. It becomes good again when you've got 11 mana. Go. Oof, yuck. I assume they go for Vraska because they don't want me to ultimate her, but I didn't even look, yeah. But the good news is it's going to take them forever to kill her. That's a lot of cards. They're down to 15 in library. This is a... What you got? Come on. Hurry up. Yeah, the third ley line is of less value than the first couple. So their hand is Treasure Cruise and 2 others. They're probably going to start with the Cruise. Good news is they're now down to 9 cards in library. And they're not very near to killing me. Corsair is also oddly well sized. Obviously it can't block because they fly, but it can attack through their stuff, and they're not really very close to killing me because they're worried about Vraska. And now they're going for me. It's a different tactic. Okay. Why not? Let's live a little dangerously. Yeah, I've got to attack. Probably should have altered Vraska to try and go for the win, but it just felt so risky because they can kill it with their... Flayer's not bad. Let's see what you've got. Fully stocked. So they're obviously trying to burn me out. Chart doesn't matter. Is it charm doesn't matter. Thing kind of matters. This gives me a... it simply is an extra thing to sack next turn. They have no fear, do they, the opponent? So they binned the 2 cards they drew, so that's their hand. Okay. It's not great for me. Doesn't really help as much as I like Questing Beast. Yeah, we have lost. But let's go through the motions, make them kill me. Well, there we go then. That's going to be a 4-1 result, which is fine but annoying when your loss is in round 5 because you really want the trophy, or at least I did. Opponent is, how do I describe this? Flexing / being a turd. Yep, totally unnecessary. Just letting me know they could kill me like 1.3 times instead of once. Well, there we are. You need a clock to go with your ley lines, it seems. Food for thought, anyway. So, yeah, this was the list. Again, if you have any suggestions, any input, I would love to speak to people who've played more Pioneer than me. I guess no one's played much. But yeah, I've taken this through 2 leagues now. We're net result 8 and 2, so I'm pretty happy with the list. Yeah, I don't know exactly what I would change. I was strongly considering adding a 3rd colour, which would probably be blue for Jace Vryn's Prodigy, Treasure Cruise, Scarab God, Hostage Taker. Some good cards. Oko, of course, but I'm reluctant to play Oko because it's kind of boring. It's a card that tends to spoil games of Magic a bit, I think. Yeah, this is where I'm at anyway, and I'm very happy to take input, deck list suggestions, criticism, of course. That's usually forthcoming. Yeah, anything you guys want to say, pop it in the comments. I love reading your comments, and thank you for watching. Cheers. Bye bye.